All right. We are live here on another deep dive. And we're basically just going to scroll down my X feed here. Um, and we'll get into some stuff that pops up. Now, there's been a lot going on. And so I remember I made a video on this guy here, True Seeker. Israel bombs innocent people. Israel is a terrorist state, right? And, he's are we going to sit here and argue that? Probably not. But someone like True Seeker, right, who I've made videos a lot about, it's annoying how these truthers they hide behind stuff like this. I have no clue who this guy is. And again, I have respect for this guy as opposed to some other people in the truth community, but because he's got a YouTube channel, he basically is a call for an uprising replicator. He's kind of a mirror of him, and you know what? It is what it is because it's important to get this information out. But I wish someone like this guy would show himself. I wish that they would take someone like me and Shammy a little more serious, even though we might not have 57,000 followers on Twitter or whatever. But it's someone like him. It's just all day. It's these caps with the same rhetorics that a lot of truthers just keep saying. The Epstein files, what happened? Abolishing income tax. It's like, okay, well, we know at this point that politicians aren't going to do what they say. And I think he's smart enough to know this. It's just that for whatever reason, they want to keep saying the same stuff. I guess their logicality behind it is they want to reach new people, right? That's what I hear. Someone like a call for an uprising say. But what we need to do is we need to start reaching people, even people that are smaller accounts that know what's up and that have the courage to make videos like this. Because if I could reach people on my local level, someone can reach someone on their local level, and maybe we could perhaps come together and at least ride this out together. Even if we can't stop it, we can ride it out together. We can awaken people. We can educate and not go out there protest, right, in irrational manner, but do things in an intelligent way and communicate things in a coherent way that people can understand, right? So that's why I come after these truthers a lot, especially on here. That's why people say, "Why are you making videos about someone?" Oh, look at that! I had a brutal smack to the back of the head. But right? I've been making videos about Nick Fuentes. I've been making videos about people like this guy Jake Shields, right? I made videos about the guy True Seeker. I made a video about Mr. Sausage, Andrea Lynn, Katie Appleseed, right? These semi-big people on here. I mean, Jake Shields, I would say, is on a different category than some of those people I mentioned. But yeah, it's just the fact that it's kind of like what I was saying before. It's someone like him. If you go on his feed, it's really all day of him talking about Jane Hughes and and things of that nature. So I think we got my man Shammy back here. How you doing?
Yo, 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 what's poppin'? How y'all doing? Are we
So
looking
I
at
was just
some Twitter stuff?
what's that?
Are we looking at Twitter posts?
Yeah, so I was explaining earlier that we're pretty much just going to scroll down this and whatever pops up. I mean, there's so much to talk about. Obviously, with us, we can talk for days about what we know in terms of going on in the world. But really, I wanted to focus on, I guess, a little more current stuff. Um, so I think I've mentioned this guy. I made a video on him, and I was just talking about him briefly. But Jake Shields he pops up on my feed all day about the people in the land, let's say, that shouldn't be there, that was stolen
Hmm.
in 1948, right?
Yeah.
And you see, like, he posts videos like this, but it's like all day, and it's what's going on there is horrible, and it's really a shame that people are manipulated into thinking that they're terrorists over there, and it's justified, right? It's the same thing as
Hmm.
what happened on the 11th day of September, right?
Right.
Um, but what this causes is, well, it's this group of people that are controlling everything. Ultimately, It's not. We could say it's the Freemasons. We could say it's the Jesuits or Skull and Bones or whoever, but really it's actually the JQ. Like that's their narrative. That's the top of the pyramid, right? And as me and you know, like it's very misleading, but I can understand why so many people are falling down this rabbit hole, right? Of it's all them, and as long as people believe it's all them, they're still controlled, right? Because they're not looking beyond that. They're not looking at the dark occult consciousness aspect. It's like let's look at them as the synagogue of Satan. Let's retreat to this phony version of Jesus Christ, call ourselves Christians, you know
Hmm.
and let's, because you see this big, like, oh, Christ is king, as well, like this big push for Christ, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
um and so it's funny because things are evolving, right? But you have this push at the same time. Like, well, I don't know how to explain it. We're at such a crossing roads right now of like the old way of life and the new way of life, right? Where like,
Hmm.
it's like you have these conservative types like Jake Shields and Nick Fuentes who try to promote that old fashioned lifestyle, right?
Hmm.
But it's just not possible, right? Because most of us, the vast majority of us, have not been trained that way. You know, we haven't been trained that way. The world is moving forward, right? These people don't realize that we could stop it. Yeah, we could definitely stop it if we all came together, for sure. But they're pushing hate. They're pushing. They're helping push the anti you know what agenda, right?
Yeah.
By the stuff they're saying, because it's easy. Like, you see it all day, man. It's just, well, look, this guy Jake Shields is anti you know what. This is something an anti Semite would say, right? Like, it's just all day. There's no winning, right? Because it's designed for not for neither side to win, just like with politics. But anyway, what I was getting at before was the point in time where it is really interesting, because we're at a point where it's like we're about to evolve, but we have this push, right? At the same
Hmm.
time, of more so people on the conservative side to like go back to this way of living. So it's like we really have a choice right now, right? And that's why it's important. Me and you are really important. And what I was saying before you came on as well was, accounts that are bigger, maybe not like Jake Shields, but this other guy, his name is True Seeker.
Yeah. True
This guy,
Savior. I know True Savior.
yeah, and he makes good content. I have respect for him, but it's like I don't know who he is. He never shows his face.
Yeah.
I try, like, tweeting at him, commenting. He never gives me the time of day, and it's like, what if someone like him put us on his show or whatever, right?
Right.
And it's we just made a brief appearance, and we're just like, hey, like, this is the area we're in.
Hmm.
This is our email. If you want to get together, maybe try to do something locally or whatever, try to wake people up. Things could happen, but I don't know. It's almost like these guys have a little bit of diva in them. Maybe they really don't notice me at all, but like,
Yeah. Right.
it's almost like there's a bit of a diva attitude there amongst people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the truth community is like divided and with one in itself. Um, I do think that there is a chance he just doesn't see your stuff, but I don't know, man. I think at the end of the day, like a lot of these people, not truth seeker, but like some of these guys, like the Jake Shields of the world, oh, Russell Brand, don't even get me started. A lot of these guys are definitely controlled opposition. You know, a guy like Russell Brand, a huge controlled opposition, and
Dude,
it's
I've never
funny.
I've never listened to anything he says. Like, what does he say exactly? Have you listened to him?
He's come out and like he's been trying to be a part of the truth community these past like 3 or 4 years. I think
Yeah,
I remember when C-19 happened. He was like one of the main people, in the truth community, trying to like say it's a phony or whatever. You know what I mean? So
hmm
that whole movement of people who fall for that, it's like, come on. Russell Brand is like the most Hollywood guy there is. Like,
yeah.
and
It's
I
like,
think a lot
yeah,
of them are just paid opposition. I think you see, you notice if you really go in the truth community and look at all these different channels, a lot of these guys start up from nothing and gain huge followings out of nowhere, or they'll have like a little bit of following but have tons of like super chats and tons of money being funneled their way. That has to be some type of network of CIA agents. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these
yeah.
guys
Like
are
pushing.
ex convicts. some of these guys are ex convicts, and like they get on the internet and now they're speaking truth. But if you do the like research on their background, you'll find out, oh, these people have felonies or they've been arrested. So I think a lot of these truth seekers, and not talking about truth seeker, we know, but a lot of these people in the truth community, they're not real, um, actual people who are on our side.
Yeah. And look what he's wearing. If I'm not wrong, doesn't that symbol sexual abuse or sexual slave or whatever?
Yeah, the cheetah,
The,
tiger, the
the,
cheetah, whatever. Yeah,
yeah. Is that what it represents? Like sex slave?
it's something along those lines. Yeah, because you remember, like, um, I think right after COVID happened, I keep saying COVID. I'm sorry. C-19, the scamdemic. Right after that happened, a lot of people were in like leopard clothing and like cheetah clothing. You saw a lot of celebrities wearing that stuff. So that's definitely what it's about.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting because Russell Brand, right? He
Hmm.
was like the kind of guy I would watch when I first started waking up, like back in 2017, like that super soft truth stuff, like, oh, is the world possibly flat? Like, is 9/11 possibly? Like, they don't really talk about it like as if it's true, it's kind of like it's those fun type conspiracies, like Shane Dawson. Have you ever watched those Shane Dawson conspiracies?
I've heard the name before.
Okay, yeah, he's a bit. I don't know if he's big anymore. I haven't heard his name in a long time, but he was really big like 10 years ago.
Hmm.
And he had like I used to watch his conspiracies because it's like that soft, fun conspiracy stuff, like aliens, UFOs, right? Like the
Right,
fun stuff.
right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these,
Yes,
a lot of these guys, bro. Like, I've noticed, like, they might say some good stuff, but like, they're not really exposing anyone, And if they are exposing it, they're pointing the finger at the who's, short caps, small caps, and it's just like, I don't know. I hate the internet to a certain degree. Like, there's only a few channels and a few people who I actually follow, and I'm like, okay, these people seem more legit. But every time
yeah,
I go on like X or Twitter, I always see like these truth talkers, and it's a lot of it. You can tell they're controlled op.
yeah, bro. These three right here, this perfect like lineup of controlled op. Like these are more serious than like the what's his name, Russell Brands, right? Because these are like the next level. It's like there's different layers, right, of
Right.
truths, and these are. And then it can't. I would say Candace Owens and Jake Shields are like a step up from this Ian Carroll guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say like to Ian Carroll, Candace Owens, like right, they all make really good content and it looks good, and like obviously they have a bigger budget than people like you and me, and they're older than us and more established. But like you
Hmm.
know, Ian Carroll, I didn't watch it, but he went on and debated with a guy named Derek Bose, if you've heard of
Hmm.
him.
Never heard the name.
Okay, he's a pretty big name in the truth community, but he was more of like a legit guy. Like he talks more about like consciousness. He doesn't like get caught up in the constant, oh, it's this group, it's that group, or fall down those rabbit holes. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And they actually did a stream. I forgot what it was about exactly. I think it was something about Trump because this guy pushes Trump. I think that's the thing about Ian Carroll. He pushes like that conservative Trump savior narrative.
Okay.
And Eric Bose basically went on like debating with him why that like isn't going to save the day. Like what he's doing is actually worse for the people. But it's like then you got Candace Owens, right? Who
Hmm.
is she's very like I follow her on Instagram and she's always popping up and like yo her content looks like so good and like I gotta say Candace Owens is a very attractive woman. So she's nice to look at. It's so refreshing to hear like a black woman, right? A young black
Hmm.
woman like talk about the stuff she's saying because it's so rare to hear these kind of like right wing type talking points from a young
Right.
black woman. So
Right. Right.
I always found that interesting with her, and I'm always curious as to like how she like got up because I know she's married to that famous guy, right? The dude in England or whatever is it? Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking?
Yeah. I forgot what his name is, but yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah. So some people speculate that it's because of him or whatever.
about.
Um,
Wasn't she part of the government, if I'm not mistaken?
uh, I don't think she was. No.
But she was like heavily involved in the Republican Party.
she's always been like a Republican. I know that.
Yeah.
I don't exact. I kind of like saw a concise history of her before, but I don't remember how she got famous exactly. I know she like had a big time job ever since she was like young, working
Mhm.
like executive assistant in like corporate America. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is interesting as well. Executive assistant. She kind of had a big time job from the start.
Right. Yeah.
So it's it's we can speculate all day about her, but the end in the end we know she's controlled out.
Yeah.
And then you
Right.
got the Jake Shield. So it's just dude, this lineup right here is the perfect. What I would say, like it's like once you get past the politics, right? Then you get to these people. Once you can accept that, all right, politics is a dog and pony show. It's like, all right, this is the people you start to run into.
Right. Right.
And
By the way, wait. Go ahead.
what's that?
I was gonna say, just go ahead. Go ahead. What you're about to say.
Oh no, I was done.
So I was gonna ask you. So what's your opinion on this whole tariffs thing with Trump?
Yeah. So doesn't that hurt us in the end of the day? Essentially, because it's going to hurt the consumer, right?
Hmm.
Well, I think it's interesting how Donald Trump, it's like he just doesn't talk ever, and he hasn't said it this whole time, bro. Like even in election season, I haven't heard him say I'm going to lower the price of housing, rent, grocery prices, gasoline. It's just like,
His
he,
followers say that stuff, not him.
yeah, it's just like he just talks about we're gonna make America great, cut taxes, like just the typical stuff that every politician says. It's like
Hmm.
I don't know how people, man, like grown ups, can like fall for this stuff. It's really childish, but
Yeah.
I mean, the tariffs is probably going to lead to something with the economy and maybe something with the digital dollar, maybe some sort of even cyber attack. Like, who knows, man? Like, that's the thing. It's like they can really go anywhere at this point.
Yeah.
Something I did want to bring up now that it kind of goes hand in hand with it was the World Economic Forum posted like a few weeks ago. I think
Hmm.
it was last week actually about a cyber attack. Have you heard about it?
No. Can you get it on the screen?
Yeah. Um, I actually posted it on Twitter. Here, let me get it. This is my Twitter, by the way. Everyone, if you want to follow me, 3MCJD1.
I'm not sure if we follow each other. We gotta definitely
Dude,
get
yeah,
that.
I've tried looking for you. I couldn't find you. Are you not Shammy Deep on here?
No, I am. I should be up there.
Really? It was like someone else. It wasn't you.
Hmm. We'll look again.
Yeah. All right, here it is. Do you see this screen though, or no?
No, I still see your Twitter screen.
All right, let me get out of this. So yeah, this is really interesting. Let me know if you see it or not.
Okay, you're good.
Cool. So this is kind of long. Like we obviously aren't going to go through the whole thing, but just from like it's World Economic Forum, right? You could see it. The
Hmm.
cyber threats to watch in 2025 and other cybersecurity news to know this month. But what's crazy is the way they talk about it is as like it's coming. They're not saying, well, if they're like, you'll see.
Right.
The cyber threat landscape in 2025 will be shaped by increasingly sophisticated attacks with ransomware, social engineering, and AI-powered cybercrime remaining top concerns according to the World Economic Forum's latest global cybersecurity outlook. Data breaches continued at historic levels in 2024 with over 3,000 data comprises tracked by the Identity Theft Resource Center on par with the previous record breaking year. However, the victim notice surged 211% to 1.3 billion, but this was largely due to five mega breaches, each triggering over 100 million notices. Anything with these numbers here?
Mm,
Or this one even?
yeah, they're pretty big numbers, so it's kind of hard for me to really think about it right away. But I'm sure there's some type of breakdown to it.
This breaks down to a nine. I know that.
Right. Yeah. Um. The thing, it's crazy. Like you were saying, it's like this. It says the cyber attacks will happen in 2025. Like, okay.
I mean, like I mean, you guys can read this because I don't want to read it all, but like, yeah, I mean, the way they talk about it is like, oh, this is a really big problem. It's gonna happen. It's kind of like how they've been talking about it, like Bill Gates and a lot of the people like talking about like the next pandemic. Oh, they're gonna take that serious. Yeah, the next pandemic is gonna be like this. Like they're describing it already.
Right, like Event 201, how it just COVID
Exactly.
C-19 simulation. Yeah,
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 and
yeah,
the CEO of BlackRock, right? How he's saying the way he talks is like, well, everyone that every employee that works for us needs to comply, and if they don't, we're gonna have to threaten them. Basically, like, he basically said it. Like we're gonna threaten them. We're gonna take away certain things. If they
right.
don't want to do it, then we're gonna have to fire people.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's just the way they talk about stuff now, at least in today's world, and they could say whatever, dude. Like, and that's the point. It's like it's things are so like stupid now, bro, that like they don't need to make sense. And that's the thing, because people are so stupid that like things don't need to make sense anymore.
Yeah, right.
And so like when they come out and they say like weird stuff, like Trump is talking about the third term, and all these things, like it's just I don't know, man. It's just a weird world we live in. And he's still talking about Greenland and Canada and
Yeah,
all this stuff. Like, yeah, imagine that happened. Like, we did merge with them. Yeah. It's kind of cool. I guess it's something new, right? Wow, something new happening in the world. But
yeah. Watch like the one world currency come about if that ever happened.
yeah, and that could go hand in hand with the tariffs, dude. It's like they're really setting the stage, man. They've really like set things up,
Hmm.
and again,
Yeah.
we could speculate all day what will happen, but what do you think about the tariffs?
Well, to go back to what you're saying about these cyber attacks, that movie Leave the World Behind, that was the main plot in that movie. It was that a cyber attack happened and it shut the world down. So, that movie was produced by the former presidents Obama and Michelle Obama, the former White House First Lady. So it's kind of strange that their first film together is a movie about the ending of America. So, but tariffs are really bad for the economy. Um, Adam Smith, the father of economics, says that if you take economics in business school, you'll know that that is literally the one way to cause the economy to fall is tariffs, and then it's going to cause war with other countries. You know
Yeah,
what
and
I
that's
mean?
like we were talking about in the beginning, like with the who and Palestine. Like it's all there. It's ready to go. It's just I
Hmm.
think they're just waiting, man, for the perfect time opportunity.
Because they have all these pieces going. With Trump with these tariffs, and then like you said, the war over there. It looks like World War III is about to come to our doorstep, and it's crazy. You got Kanye West, like he's back in the headlines, wearing that black KKK mask or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Apparently, I don't know how true this is, but I saw like a picture of some of his music that he has coming out, and the first song is World War III. So it's weird how I don't know if it's weird. It's just like it's predictive programming. Is Are they just using him to just put out a message? You know, because at the end of the day, they want a war so they can conquer and divide.
yeah,
And if there's ever a war, God forbid there is a war on U.S. soil, it's gonna be all out mayhem because think about it. This generation that we're living in, nobody can defend themselves. Nobody can survive out in the wilderness. You know how hard it is to spend a night outside. You know what I mean? Like imagine if that was the case in this country where people had to live outside, you had to survive and search for food and scavenge for food. That's how they would put us in the actual new world order. Um, they would do it that way. They would just knock out all the technology, the dollar will crash, everything will crash, and it'll have to basically be like every man for themselves. And it seems like that's what Trump wants, and it seems like Trump is really just a pawn in this whole scheme of things. Trump doesn't have any real power. He's not in control of anything really. It's really the people behind him, and the organizations behind them. The Catholic Church, the Freemasons, and every other organization that's has influence. So yeah, I think it's really foolish how we've let things escalate to the point that they have gotten to. As Americans, like not me and you, but like I would say half the country can't even tell that politics are a sham. They can't even like come to the conclusion that politics are fake, they're not real. We live in a communist state disguised as a democracy, and the only way out of this is to tear it down. Is to go to your local buildings and actually put in the right people. Elect the right people in your town. You know, do the right things to get the message out there to people. That's the only way we stop this, because you really think about it right now, people really aren't focused on what's happening in the news, like they are, because like they'll come home from a long day of work and look at the news, but most people are just focused on, yo, how can I pay my rent? How am I gonna afford to eat today? You know what I mean? What am I gonna? How am I gonna get to work? How am I gonna get this where pay this bill, pay that bill? So you know, the action of Americans right now is put on survival mode. Like we're all in survival mode. Nobody's in actual defending and fighting for our freedom. Nobody's in that mode. We're not in this like I'm trying to do the right thing. I'm trying to save the world. Like we're all just trying to eat, trying to have a place to stay. So these agendas that are happening in the government, on TV, that are happening and around the world, they're going to continue to happen as long as we're still in survival mode, because nobody has time and nobody has enough energy to actually stand up against the government, to actually stand up against Donald Trump. you know so the way around that is we need to it's basically boycotting. Imagine 50 million people in the United States boycotted to pay rent, to boycott it, to pay any bills until things actually get right. Every single day we're seeing the price of everything go up. And now, like yesterday, Trump, implemented his tariffs. Everything's literally going to go up now. You know, like we thought, oh, maybe in 2020, 2023, 2024, things were getting expensive, rent was getting expensive. No, like now everything's actually going to go up because of these tariffs. And honestly, I don't know how people are making it. I don't know how people are eating each day. I don't know how people have enough to pay their rent. It's not like we're getting paid more money. So it's like
I live paycheck to paycheck, bro. It's miserable, man. Like
I
it's like
bet.
it sucks to be so financially crippled, even though I have like a pretty decent job. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
And my rent really isn't that much for New Jersey standards, and it's like it's food, bro. It's food. It's like that's like the biggest expense.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the rent. I mean, for New Jersey, it's good, but dude, what I'm paying for this place is not worth it. I should
Right.
be paying like $400 or $500 less.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Um, but yeah, to your point, what you were saying. Oh, by the way, I'm just gonna switch my screen. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead.
but yeah, you're right when you said that people are put on survival mode, because that's pretty much like if you bring this stuff up to people, like I'll use my parents even for example. It's like back in the day when I used to like first bring this stuff up to them, and I want to get to the. I don't know if you heard of this, but we'll get to this in a minute. But
Mm-hmm.
um, basically, yeah. So my dad, I would bring this stuff up to them, and they would always go to this like when they have nothing else to say. You know what we've done for you? Like we moved to this town and put you in a good school system. We worked so hard for you. It always comes down to money. Like the
Mm-hmm.
money. It's like they're trying to use like it's a subconscious thing, right? But they're trying to almost like get me to realize, well, I should be grateful, which I am. Of course, I'm not saying I'm not, but my parents aren't awake to any truth. My parents are your typical American sheep. They
Mm-hmm.
just come home from work, they watch the TV. That's basically shaped their reality for the past, I guess, 30 years. Ever since they've had me, right, or whatever. So yeah, man, and even like you talk to anyone on the street, they just and like our friend, right, our mutual friend, he always says, yeah, man, people just want to make their money and be left alone. But it's like, yo, like when are people going to realize this is a rat race? Like this is a race that you're not meant to win.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I get it. We have families, we have obligations, we have goals maybe that we wanted to achieve, but we can still accomplish and do those things. Just like we gotta suffer for a little bit. We might have to suffer for a little while by going through changes for a better world, you know.
Right.
Um, but people don't want to do that. No, people don't have courage. People don't have the imagination to imagine things
Hmm.
greater than how they are now. People's imagination, creativity has been destroyed through the school system, through your stupid job, a corporate job, and the way life is. Oh, it's you talk about what happened in sports with your boys at work, right? And then you go to the bar and you watch it on the weekend and you get drunk, right? And you basically
Hmm.
live for the weekend. It's like the lifestyle of like Americans, and I would say the world is not much different. Kind of replicates, I'd say, the world. We're just caught up, right? There's the endless distractions with not even just the survival stuff, but like, well, there's TV, there's Netflix, there's social media, there's video games, there's porn, um, there's alcohol, there's drugs. I mean, endless distractions, right?
Right. the
reason why even I'll talk about bankers a lot or like finances because like we all are feeling it. Like there's not one person that can say unless they're a millionaire that can say like, oh, I don't see a problem right now with the economy or whatever or anything, but it's like, dude, people still don't care, So
Hmm.
like that's the thing. It's like I don't know what else to do. That's why I get discouraged dealing with content. It's like, damn, I'm like talking to a wall. It's like, and again, I think we've talked about this, where I feel like people are listening, especially now, and like because people want truth. They want to hear like not the same old left right political stuff. Like people are seriously wondering, like, well, all right, there's got to be something greater, right? Or
Hmm.
maybe a different route than just this left or right. And even
Right.
though they're not saying anything, I feel like there is they do appreciate it, or they do. Maybe sometimes I think this might be cocky, but I think sometimes maybe when I post it, like it makes someone say like someone's like, oh, I'm bored at my job. Let me see if Justin has a controversial tweet to make me
Hmm.
think, whatever.
Right.
So
That's the best case scenario. That's what we imagine happens.
they're right. That's what I'm at. Or some people like view my stuff to say, oh, I hate this guy. Maybe I just get their blood boiling. So,
Yeah.
but I feel
Right.
like if I really like angered people, they wouldn't follow me. Even like they just wouldn't watch me or anything. They wouldn't bother watching like my story or anything.
Right.
But yeah, man, it's. I know I said a lot there, but it's really annoying. That's the aggravating part about this is getting people even in our own community, bro, to do something. It's
Hmm.
like hop on with us, right? It's like
Right.
I know you said you had that one guy. Have you had any other takers?
No, not at all. Honestly,
Oh,
um, I haven't really been talking to that many people. Kind of just been in my own little circle, but it is like frustrating when I post something like of the same lines of what you're saying and stuff like that. Very little to no response, unless it's something that's deliberately pointing at a certain group of people or something like that. I don't really get any reactions from people. Um, but the little reactions that I do are like, "Hey, I agree with you, X, Y, and Z. Keep up the good work, stuff
yeah.
like that."
Typically, it's
So
positive, right?
yeah, yeah. I very rarely. I don't think I've ever posted something. No, I wouldn't say that. I posted stuff and I've had people like respond with like laughing emojis or like thinking that, oh wow, you're crazy. But
Yeah.
like usually those are just dumb people. You know what I mean? They're not like
Dude, that
people
used
with.
to happen to me a lot more so 5 years ago. Because I do when COVID came around. I know that we didn't know each other then, but like I wasn't even that good of friends with Kevin even like back then. That's when we just started being friends. But like, dude, I was like going off. Like this is what got my original channel and stuff like taken down. I was making content every day because I think I was
Yeah.
employed at the time about
Hmm.
COVID and like going in on it, and like so many people like would unfollow me, remove. I would post on everywhere, Instagram, Snapchat, and like women
Right.
girls would remove me that I was like I had plans to hang out with, which is really annoying at that and really like honestly bothered me.
Yeah.
Because it's like that
I
time was
feel
a
you.
lonely time. COVID, we're all locked up. But anyway, it's
Right.
like back then, yeah, I got really bad responses, but now it's like people are almost like in a way like, oh yeah, it's like that. It's like
Hmm.
they don't vocalize it though. They don't even like my. I don't even think they want me to know sometimes
Right.
that they agree.
Yeah,
because
you're right.
maybe they think I might tell someone. Like, I don't know, dude. Like,
Right. Or
I don't.
like we were saying before, people hate to be like the outcast. They hate to be looked at as different. You know, um, I think like what you just said was like sometimes they don't even want you to know because maybe now they're starting to come around and maybe they were a doubter before and they don't want to admit that hey maybe this kid is right. So I think it comes down to ego. A lot of people's ego get in the way of them growing and
Yeah,
developing. And
yeah,
I think that's the problem with America is that we have so much ego because of capitalism. Because of what we have. Oh, I drive a foreign Mercedes. I drive a foreign this and that. I have X amount of dollars in my bank account. I can get this woman. I think that is what is creating so much division within our communities, and it's not allowing the person who drives $100,000 car to learn from the homeless guy on the street. You know, because who's to say the homeless guy on the street isn't as knowledgeable or even more knowledgeable than the guy who drives $100,000? $100,000 car. So it's like we have to realize that we are all humans and we're all in the same playing field. We're all in this boat together. So it's a matter of teach one and show each other how to do things. But if we still live in this this world of division where everyone is either left or they're right, that's how the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the U.S. government, the Catholic Church, the you know who's. That's how they keep us under wraps. That's
hmm
how they stay in power. Because they know that if the more separated we are, the easier it is to control. But
yeah,
if we are together, then they have no way of defeating us. That's their only game plan is to separate us. You know, that's why they made imaginary borders on state lines and lines in maps. Imaginary borders, not real borders. Just hey, this line separates you, and now you are two different people. We're
yeah,
not. We're the same people. We just live on different parts of the earth.
yeah.
So,
Even in the
um,
United States, right? There's different states. Like you still can't smoke weed, right, in Pennsylvania. And I live
right,
right by Pennsylvania. It's crazy to think like, wow, if I lit up a joint there or something, like you can get arrested. So yeah,
yeah,
dude, you're totally right. It's like all this
yeah,
division.
that is crazy. And then you have people who live in red states hate people who live in blue states and vice versa. We're the United States of America,
Yeah,
United States, not the divided states of America.
right, right. PA, by the way, PA was a red state this year, right?
Yeah, it turned red this year. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
this
No, PA.
election year.
If you drive through there, it seems more red than blue for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I personally I always thought it was red until like I looked up and like oh this is actually a blue state. I
Yeah,
didn't realize.
it's like a flip flop state. It's like Florida. You know what I'm saying? It's like those are the
I think
states that
yeah,
sometimes are red and blue. You know?
yeah, I think it's because of like maybe the cities like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, like those are like
Yeah,
heavily blue
yeah,
states, whatever, blue cities. So maybe like the more concentrated places are is the reason why. Um, but yeah, you had something up here you wanted to look at.
yeah. Actually, I'm glad you mentioned like the stuff that divides us because, dude, I don't know if you heard about this story or not. Have you heard
I
of it?
did. Yeah, I did hear about this.
Okay, yeah. So, dude, it plays into the race stuff, right? About like
Hmm.
division, because dude, X is like so much stuff with when it comes to people like political influencers with race towards blacks, or there's a lot of Indian hate, obviously illegal immigrants. It's a lot of like, oh, like white people, the population are shrinking, like we need to save white lives, and like uh,
Hmm.
stuff. What else who do they hate? I mean, of course they hate gays, they hate trans. They pretty much hate. They're very they're white nationalists basically. That's like pretty much what they are.
Hmm.
Maybe they won't admit it, but like that's like the belief system that they have, that like white people are basically better, right?
Right.
And I'm not gonna read this, but
Yeah.
apparently, right, this teenager. For those of you who don't know, they're teenagers. They're 17 years old. Apparently, they had an altercation at a track meet of all places. and this guy stabbed this guy, and that's his twin brother in the heart, and he died like later
Mhm.
that day. And then that was his twin brother giving like his spiel or whatever about what happened.
Mhm.
I don't know if you see anything about controlled optimists. Oh,
Sorry, that's my background.
is that a telephone like one of those wired ones?
Yeah, somebody was calling.
Oh, this late?
Yeah, I know.
People gotta learn manners, right?
Yeah.
That reminded me of the house phone that my parents used to have.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
like
funny.
rang. But yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying, right? It plays into the because what this guy is doing, it's like it race baits because it's like people will post like Myron Gaines, like the guy from Fresh and Fit podcast, the Jake,
Yeah.
all those guys are all over this shit, and they're like, yeah, it's because the blacks they just can't stop killing. They love to kill each other. They hate white people and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's you see a lot of racist stuff. Obviously, a lot of these accounts too don't even show themselves.
Right. Yeah.
But that's why, of course, like describing those guys as chaos agents are perfect because it's like, dude, it's like it's almost like you're seeing racism come back, but it's like more so on the
Mhm.
internet than it
Right.
is in real life, you know, because to be racist in real life, I mean, it takes a lot of balls, honestly.
Yeah. A lot that most people don't have.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, I find it just so crazy that the X world is full of racism, sexism, prejudice stuff. It's
Mhm.
really a platform of hate, man. To be honest, you know.
Right. So something that's crazy about this story is that the black kid who did the committed the crime, his name is Carmelo Anthony, right? Now he spells his name with a K,
Yeah.
and the actual basketball player Carmelo Anthony, he spells it with a C.
Hmm.
So apparently this happened yesterday, or maybe it happened, the day before. But the kid went to jail yesterday, right? Carmelo Anthony, the kid, the 17-year-old. Apparently he went to jail yesterday, and guess what happened yesterday as well? The basketball player Carmelo Anthony got inducted into the Hall of Fame yesterday.
Oh,
So what are the odds that a Carmelo Anthony is involved in this major story, and then the actual Carmelo Anthony from the basketball gets inducted into the Hall of Fame? So for me, I think there's no way this is a coincidence. I think this is a planned ritual that
hmm.
happened. And I don't know if you ever seen that show Utopia, the Amazon show called
No.
Utopia. So that show you got, I think, man, that's a show you got to look at. That show
What is
is
it called?
about Utopia.
Oh, Utopia. Okay.
Yeah. So this show is about how billionaires create a fake uh, disease to create a pandemic so they can mass sterilize the population.
Hmm.
And, it's funny how this show comes out right when the actual scandemic came out. So it happened in 2020, and this show comes out right then, right? And within the plot line of this show, there is a narrative how these billionaires raise these like orphans or these like MK Ultra kids who go on later in life to commit these like mass shootings and like these crazy events where they like kill people or do stuff like that just to create a narrative or storylines in the news. So who's to say that this isn't actually one of these type of situations where this kid was like raised to commit this crime, and be synced with the basketball player Carmelo Anthony. And I find it weird how his name is spelt with a K, and
Yeah.
Carmelo Anthony is
That's so interesting you brought that up because I didn't know that yesterday Carmelo Anthony got inducted into the Hall of Fame.
yeah. Pull it up on the on Google real quick
Yeah.
so people can see that we're not just BSing. It's crazy how these things are synced up like this, and it makes you think like, wow, are we really living in the Truman Show?
Yeah.
Pull up Carmelo Anthony Hall of Fame. Well, yep, there it is. Former
Yep.
NBA star Carmelo Anthony elected to the Hall of Fame. And what's the date on that article? April 2nd.
Yep. Damn.
Like, how crazy is that, man?
That is crazy.
Yeah, and
Yeah. No, so, well, what about the twin dynamic, right? Because don't the powers that be, they love like the twin dynamic? You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Right? It's like kind of like the pillars of good and evil. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Do you think these kids are part of it too,
Oh,
perhaps, or
definitely. Yeah,
they're just
definitely.
okay?
Now I don't know where they raised by these, like, like I was saying about that show that was raising kids to become mass murderers and stuff like that. Or these kids raised by one of these, things? I don't know, but um, for them to be included in this ritual today, yeah, somebody knew something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Especially
mean,
the Carmelo Anthony kid.
no, yeah, and dude, this is big news. I've been seeing this all day.
Right.
You know, all these accounts are posting and talking about it, so it's big news for a reason.
Right. And then what's crazy is none of these accounts or nobody on the media is gonna link the actual basketball player Carmelo Anthony getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, like
They're
I
not
don't
gonna.
even know who that is, but
Yeah, they're not gonna link that piece of the puzzle.
yeah. Well, we already
So
know who he likes, because.
click on that dude's
But
profile. Let me see. Go back to that dude. Clicking on his icon, his avatar. Let me see.
this,
Yeah, look at this guy. He has an X hat with an American flag in the background. And then
yo,
come on, dude. Look at this cornball.
I didn't. Wait, did you catch that at first? I didn't even realize it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it right now in real time. I'm like, come on, look at this cornball. This is a controlled op right here. This
Yeah, I
is
mean,
one of
he's got a lot of followers, dude. And it's
yeah,
tens. No.
this is one of Elon's buddies. Is one of his worker slaves.
Yeah, it's crazy how like because the people I work with, I told you, are big on Trump, and like I don't know, they love the terrorists.
They
So
don't
the lady was
understand that
like,
like
yeah,
everything is going to be more expensive for them too. Go ahead. What were you saying? I think we cut out a little bit. So J Master, I think he cut out, but what he was saying is like a lot of people love terrorists. The people who support Trump, they love terrorists. But it's just crazy how these people don't realize terrorists are going to affect everybody, and they think it's going to work out. It'll be fine. No, it's not going to be fine. We are going to be in a dark age pretty soon because of what DT is doing. Now these terrorists, they're going to raise the price on everything, and Trump. I just don't understand how these people who come on here, they're like, oh, Trump is gonna, bring gas prices down. He's gonna bring the price of groceries down. I remember this one girl. She was like, I can't wait to live in a Trump economy. Okay, we're about to experience the Trump economy in firsthand right now with these terrorists that he's doing, with the war that's happening in Ukraine and Russia, and the war that's happening in Israel and Palestine. We are living in the Trump economy right now, and honestly, this has been the worst I've ever seen the country. Going back to what we were saying before, how I don't understand how people are surviving. I have no idea how people are surviving right now. We're living in a world where everyone is penny pinching at this point. We just got J Master Productions back. What's up, man?
hey, hey, doing? Yeah, sorry, my internet cut out there. Yeah, I'll go back to the screen.
Yeah, I figured it did. It's all good.
Yeah, sorry, I missed what you were saying before because you cut out, and then my internet like went out officially. But what were you saying?
I was just saying how like the tariffs are going to affect everybody. Whether you're a Trump supporter or not, everyone is going to have to pay more on everything. So for people to be like, oh, yeah, the tariffs are a good thing. The tariffs are going to work out. Come on now. Tariffs are not going to work out. They're going to raise the price of everything around us, and the country's going to be in even worse shape than it's already in.
Yeah, yeah, like, dude, like the whole thing is memes now. You know.
I know.
Sorry, what we were talking about before with the guy
Oh, the Carmelo
and
Anthony guy.
yeah, Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, it's like it's a meme now.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's just it's more propaganda, honestly.
Oh, dude, watch this video right here. This is random, but watch this.
I did see this. This is crazy.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of yeah.
Yeah. Did he
Yeah,
die? That guy?
he definitely spilled some blood for sure. I
Yeah, I
rarely
saw.
use the
I
X
remember
anymore.
I was looking at the comments,
Hmm.
dude. I go on it a lot, especially during work. Honestly,
I feel
I'd say
you.
that's when I go on it the most is during work.
I had to block a lot of like these like
But honestly,
channels.
yeah, my feed isn't being too good right now. Like, there's not like really good stuff. It's kind of just stupid stuff popping up. But
Hmm.
as you can see, bro, it's a lot of this dude, bro. It's like, how do they, and not even just this. I don't know if you saw before when I was scrolling, but they got like a lot of pictures of him in his personal life. So I
Hmm.
feel like that's when you really know it's controlled op. All of a sudden, they're getting like these personal like pictures of him, doing
Yeah,
like hood rat stuff.
right. It's propaganda, man. It's like people push agendas on the mass population for a reason. You know, there's a reason why we're seeing this story today. You know, like everything that come across the public's eye in the wide scale of things is pushed for a reason. You know, and it's all done by the numbers. You know, everything, every story, every headline is by the numbers. Um, that's why I've been so like into the gematria and all the numerology part to it because it's there's no denying it at this point. You know, everything is like scripted down to the game, the sports games, to the politics, to the news, to the weather. You know, there's crazy weather happening around the country. All of
Yeah,
it is by the numbers.
yeah, I
You
totally agree.
you gotta look up my channel on here. See if we follow each other.
Yeah,
I don't know if we do or not. Yeah, just look up Sharing Deep. It should come up. I don't know why it wouldn't come up.
is that you?
Nah, it's definitely not me. Now search Shammy Deep in the actual search engine. Every time like I search that name
What
in
here?
like different yeah, search it in there. Every time I search like my name in different like platforms, it's always some like Indian dude. So
This?
yeah, that's me right there. Yeah, or I'll follow you when I get on there.
Yeah. Hey, Kev follows you.
Yeah, I wish like you could still see people's likes because like I would like a lot of like cool shit. I mean, I guess you can go down my thing and look at what I retweet, but I
Yeah,
don't
is there
really like.
anything you want to talk about? Like, I know we were just talking about like the Hollywood celebrities before we came on, which of course
So
I
so like
I didn't necessarily want to talk about it because it's not that important, but it is interesting,
yeah,
of course.
go up to the Little Wayne thing. So Little Wayne, he's about to drop a new album, right?
Is he
And yeah, he's gonna drop
this
his
day?
new album. Yeah, so the album is called The Carter Six, and it's dropping on June 6th. So he's got a triple six happening this year. Um, and I think that's kind of satanic, obviously. But Little Wayne is 42 years old. And 42 is a number that's associated with the N word, associated with black
Hmm,
people and slavery. So
really?
there's a chance like Little Wayne could get sacrificed this year. Um, Lil Wayne is one of my favorite rappers of all time. I would hope not he doesn't get sacrificed, but
Can I
seeing
ask
how
why? Can I ask why Lil Wayne?
well, because he's 42, right? The
No, I
number.
mean like why like he's like your favorite rapper? Because I remember
Oh,
Kevin said that you're like really into him.
Lil Wayne's the greatest rapper because if you listen to like his old music And I'm not talking about the stuff that's like famous, like the mainstream stuff. I'm
Right.
talking about like his stuff that's like, all right, keep in mind the mainstream stuff is really good. Like it's
Oh
next
yeah, yeah.
level like music. Like it's very, very good. But I love Lil Wayne's freestyles. Like this guy would basically put out thousands of songs for free. And he's freestyling. He's not writing anything. Like this song right here that's on the screen, this is a freestyle, and he's literally just spitting crazy bars. But so many people nowadays, their minds can't keep up with like the wordplay and like with the bars, so they just tune out his lyrics and they don't appreciate what he's saying. But if you really look at what he's saying, he's spitting like bars. Like he's spitting so like crazy bars. So that's why for me Lil Wayne's the greatest rapper of all time because he was able to freestyle most of his songs and he can make songs that was like mainstream that were really catchy, but he can also make songs that were like straight underground, straight like just mixtape type music. So this is a freestyle that he did that was just incredible. But
Is this recently?
no, this is from like 2008. This is
Oh,
this is
okay.
like this is when he was in his prime. But
Well,
Wayne is
that's around when he got famous, right? Like 2008, around there.
Lil Wayne was famous in the 90s. That's when
Was
he
he?
first yeah, that's when he first came on the block. And this is another reason why I think Lil Wayne's a goat. He's been rapping since he was 12 years old. So he first came out in like 99 or 98
Yeah, because
and
in the
he was
90s, he was a teen. Yeah, he was a teenager then in the
yeah.
90s. He's
So
40.
like yeah, so like in the late 90s that's when his name started to come out, and then by the early 2000s he already had major hits. And then mid 2000s and late 2000s he was the biggest rapper of all time. So he's still rapping now, and I don't really care for his new stuff. It's not bad, but it's not like his old stuff. But um, Lil Wayne's definitely my favorite rapper, and I think a lot of people who are older, they can agree that Lil Wayne's dope. I remember I talked to Kevin about it and another one of his friends, and like his friends like I don't see how like Lil Wayne's music's not good. He's just his bars are whack. I'm like, dude, like you haven't even like scratched the surface of how good Lil Wayne is. Like if you play this freestyle, like you'll see like what I'm talking about. Like he's absolutely insane. Um, I don't know if you'll get a copyright strike. I don't think so because this is
No.
like
Do you hear it or no?
I hear it. Freestyle, bro. Like that's why I love Lil Wayne because his
Oh,
bars are
that was
so
actually really good. Yeah.
they're like metaphors, bro. Like all of it's metaphors and triple entendres, and he's freestyling. Like that's what people don't realize. Like these are not just like, oh, I'm a get it in the like it's not just like BS wordplay. Like it's like well thought out words happening in a freestyle. Like
Yeah.
it blows my mind how good he is.
Yeah. It's funny. There was this guy, and like I only heard it from this like guy I saw on YouTube. It was like an ex like Freemason, whatever, and he turned to Christ and all that.
Hmm.
Um, and he was like a cop too, and he was talking about how a ton of cops are Freemasons, this and that. And for somehow, some way, Lil Wayne got brought up, and he was like, "Oh, Lil Wayne is like he's like out of like all those celebrities, he's like really in to the occult. Like he like is so into it. He's a very high ranking in the Satanic Church or whatever." But it's interesting though because he does seem like that kind of guy. I know I'm not saying it's totally bad. Like I don't think he's Lil Wayne is using his talents for good necessarily, like the people we were talking about in the beginning. But
Hmm.
it's not to take away that they're not talented, you know.
Right.
Like,
He's definitely a part of the cult, 100%. Um,
oh
and
yeah,
and
well that's for sure. But I
yeah,
just thought it was is interesting with that guy. It was like, oh, he's like a very high. He's like one of the highest ranks in like music and all that, you know. And
yeah.
you wouldn't think just because like he's famous, obviously, but he's not like Justin Bieber famous necessarily, you know.
I mean, Little Wayne.
Yeah, I mean he's not like Justin Bieber.
I would say so. I would say so
Like
because you
it's
got to think about it. Little Wayne's been around for over 20 years, so it's like his songs were global. Like he was like he was Drake before Drake. You know what I mean?
But like, you think he can walk into other countries even and like he'll get recognized?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. You got to realize like music, like people from other countries, like they literally will listen to songs and have no idea what the songs are saying, but they know the melody and they know like how it goes. Like Lil Wayne's like on that level of famous, you know. Now, like, is he gonna walk into a small village in Cambodia and people are gonna recognize him? Probably not, you know. But if he goes to like Europe, he's gonna get recognized, 100%. You know.
Yeah.
Um, but like, back to what we were saying about the occult. Drake, the guy who came after Lil Wayne, he's heavily into the occult. Um, all of his symbolism is occult. Everything he says about the six god, that's the satanic six is what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah. He says that all
Yeah,
the time.
yeah. They like to say, "Oh, six is the name of Toronto." No, six god is means the triple six of Satan. And if you ever watched The Weeknd, another guy from Toronto, The Weeknd, he in his concert he flashes the word Satan in his concert, like right at the show. It's like a flash, in the jumbotron. I'm like, all these people who are in the music industry at the highest level, they're all into the occult. They're all into devil worship, and a lot of their powers come from these occult. You know, it comes from these dark magic, maybe witches and spells. I think there was somebody who I had worked with, this older guy, and he was telling me, this is years ago. He was telling me, Michael Jackson learned how to dance from the devil, and like, I was thinking about it. I'm like, he's probably onto something because the moonwalk, it came from some other artists. Like Michael copied a lot of I don't know if you know who Sammy Davis Jr. is and James Brown, but these were like other like big black entertainers in Motown back in like the 70s and 60s and whatever. They were really good entertainers, but Michael used to mimic them and like how they used to dance and move on stage. So the moonwalk was a theory was that Michael learned how to dance to the moonwalk from the devil because the way like he's moving is like kind of like it's kind of like
This is
freaky. You know what I
adorable.
mean? I
Let me
know,
cut
right?
you off. Now,
How cute is that? I always love to like repost like cute stuff like that, animal stuff, and then like I'll post like some true stuff.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah.
So
My
like,
bad. I mean,
no, I was just saying how like a lot of like the industry, people get their talents from the devil. Like the first, one of the most famous stories about the music industry and selling your soul comes from a guy named uh, Robert Johnson. And the Robert Johnson story, it's basically about this black guitar player who was really bad at guitar. This was like the 1900s or maybe 1800s, whatever it was. He was really bad at guitar, and then he went away for like 6 months, and he met the devil at the crossroads. I don't know if you ever heard that term, that terminology, meeting the devil at the crossroads. He met the
no.
devil at Yeah, it's a like meeting the devil at the crossroads means that you're going to sell your soul. So basically, he met the devil at the crossroads and asked the devil to you know enhance his playing abilities in the guitar. So then 6 months later, he comes back to his like his town or whatever, and he's the best guitar player in town. But his fame, was short lived as he died like only a year or two after selling his soul. So that was like the original story about selling your soul to the devil. And the weekend, the artist, the weekend, he has a music video, and it's heavily representing. You got to look into the weekend. His music videos are like deep. Like
Oh
he
yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff with him. Yeah.
Yeah, like one of his music videos, he's like referencing, the crossroads and selling his soul. But like he's got like tons of like satanic music videos. Um, that channel I showed you, the truth is on YouTube. That guy, he like breaks down the music videos. It's like a 20-minute long video. It's pretty good, and he shows you all the symbolism in the video.
You're talking about the weekend, or
Yeah, the guy. The truth is, he breaks down the
oh, his name
weekend's
is
music
The
video.
Truth Is
Yeah, the truth is, yeah, he's on
on YouTube.
YouTube.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
YouTube. Okay. I don't think I've heard of him. The Truth Is.
Yeah, I think I sent it to you on DM, but he breaks down all the music industry stuff. It's pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. You'll probably get sucked into the rabbit hole of it. And matter of fact, he has a couple Eminem videos if you want to check that out.
Yeah. Let me actually look him up.
Yeah, yeah. If you go on YouTube, the truth is, and then like Eminem, I'm pretty sure he has a video on his latest album.
Is his channel name like his actual channel name? Truth Is like
The
just
truth
that,
is,
no numbers.
is
Oh,
the
the
truth
Truth
is.
Is. Okay. Oh, I found him.
Yeah, look up him, like the Eminem video. But he's got tons of videos to check out. They're pretty good. Like they're like
Looks
uh, his stuff is like a step above the Truth Seeker stuff. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Kind of like a call for an uprising. You know that guy.
Yeah, it's a step above. Like it's not gonna expose every single thing, but he's basically touching what needs to be said.
Yeah, I subscribe to him.
Yeah. So these are his two Eminem
Yeah. Oh,
videos.
that's interesting. The proof one, how that was his
Oh
sacrifice.
yeah, Proof's definitely was sacrifice. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, you could talk. I'm just gonna go use the bathroom real quick. Do you want me to
Yo,
play
if
the
you
video, by the way?
yeah, play the second one.
This one?
Yeah, since it's kind of more relevant.
All right. Yeah, I just won't be able to pause it. So, but I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
All right, that's
World.
fine.
He dropped several albums that were labeled classics, each time going platinum, with one even achieving diamond status. Very few rappers have made it to the level Eminem made it to in hip hop. There are 16 highest selling rappers of all time, based on album sales, according to the Recording Industry Association of America. Eminem tops the list with over 60 million records sold in the US alone and 200 million globally. That makes Eminem the highest selling rapper of all time. While Eminem did make it to the very top, it seems that he paid a dark price for that success. Whether you believe artists sell their souls or not, Eminem has confessed to doing just that, and his new music video for Houdini shows us exactly that. Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to The Truth Is, where I drop new videos every other day exposing the truth. In today's episode, we will be talking about Eminem and the hidden meaning of his new music video Houdini. But before we begin, I just wanted to let you guys know I just released the all new Truth Is merch for those who want to further support the channel. I just had this all new Find the Truth merch design made by a very talented artist. The design is a hand drawn image showing me, Truth, holding a magnifying glass in one hand and the cross in the other, while investigating the all seeing eye, which represents the occult. The shirt is a representation of what I do every day on this channel. I investigate and expose the occult, protected by the blessings and grace of God. If you like this shirt and want to purchase one to further support the channel, head directly to my channel page or hit the link in the description. I want to thank you all. Now, let's get right into it. Eminem's success in hip hop is almost unbelievable if you think about it. He was a random poor white kid from Detroit who somehow was able to become a really successful rapper who ended up being the most selling rapper of all time. The fact that he was discovered by Dr. Dre as an underground rapper and then turned into the biggest rap star of the 2000s is mind blowing, as the likelihood of that happening is slim to none. There has not been another single story in hip hop similar to the one of Eminem. How exactly did Eminem go from trailer parks in Detroit to traveling the world performing in front of millions of fans? Well, he tells us himself in his music exactly what he did for his success, and it explains his immense career. Eminem has made it clear several times over that he paid a dark price for his success, and he made this known in the lyrics of his music. He made sure to tell us exactly what he did for his fame. Growing up, I was a massive Eminem fan, even though I was too young for his music. I knew all of his songs word for word, and even then, I remember hearing Eminem confess what he did to make it. While back then I didn't pay attention to the lyrics like that, even though I would rap them, I didn't really realize what Eminem was telling us. But as I got older, I realized that since the beginning of his career, Eminem was telling us he sold his soul in order to be a rap star. This is something that his new music video and upcoming album, The Death of Slim Shady, further confirms. In today's episode, we will be breaking down the imagery and the hidden message in Eminem's music video, Houdini. I will show how it connects directly back to one of Eminem's older songs, where he openly confesses to selling his soul. In fact, before we go further, let's take a look at the many times Eminem tells us through his very own music that he sold his soul to the devil, which I have mentioned in past videos. In Eminem's song, Say Goodbye to Hollywood, he raps about regretting selling his soul to be a rap star. He raps, I never dreamt I'll get to the level that I'm at. This is whack. This is more than I ever could have asked. Everywhere I go, a hat, sweater, hood, or mask. What about math? How come I wasn't ever good at that? It's like the boy in the bubble who never could adapt. I'm trapped. If I can go back, I never would have rapped. I sold my soul to the devil. I'll never get it back. I just want to leave this game with level head intact. In this song, a clearly frustrated with his fame Eminem openly admits he sold his soul to the devil, admitting he would never get it back. These are lyrics that he took the time to write and said it so passionately. He meant those bars, every single one of them. See, Eminem knew since the very beginning, since before he even made it, that he had to sell his soul in order to make it. In one of his early songs, Rock Bottom, Eminem tells us that he wanted to be a rapper so desperately that he was willing to sell his soul and go to hell to achieve it. In the song, he raps, but it's the evil that made me this backstabbing, deceitful, and shady. I want the money, the women, the fortune, and fame. That means I end up burning in hell, scorching in flames. That means I'm stealing your checkbook and forging your name. This lifetime bliss for eternal torture and pain. This was early Eminem telling us he sold his soul and was okay with the consequences as long as he can have the world. He told us he knew where this would lead him, but he did it anyways because he wanted to be a rap star. Eminem not only admits he sold his soul in his music, but he also admits that his music is being used by Lucifer to influence the youth. In his song These Drugs, Eminem raps, my music is therapeutic for whoever's there to use it. It's like Lucifer's here to influence listeners through it. You probably do what it's said to do just from listening to it. It's got the power to get you to do it. Again, Eminem chose to write these lyrics. He wanted to tell his fans that his music was being used to influence them to follow the path of Lucifer. He states something very similar in another song called Devil's Nights, where he raps, I make music to make you sick of fake music, hate music like devil-worshipping Satan music. So say your prayers, your Hail Marys and Jesuses. Take 2 sticks, tape them together and make a crucifix. Try to stop it, but you can't do it. A whole generation of kids blowing out. In this song,
That's a crazy line. His lines, like in Rock Bottom too, are like really crazy.
Yeah.
Eminem, by his own accounts, calls his music devil-worshipping music.
I remember like all these songs. I remember listening to them, and like it's funny like hearing it now. You know, it's like I'm like, oh, I totally get what he's saying now.
Right.
I am honestly disappointed in my.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Did you want to say something? Oh, okay.
That I didn't stop listening to this music when I heard him say this when I was a kid. I was one of his hypnotized fans who, when I saw the truth, could never look at Eminem the same again. There's really so many examples of Eminem admitting to selling his soul, like on the song Dead Wrong. In Eminem's verse on the song, he talks about several different levels of devil worshipping. He raps, there's several different levels to devil worshipping. Horses' heads, sacrifices, cannibalism, candles, and exorcisms. I had to literally stop reading the rest of the lyrics as they get pretty disturbing. Again, these are Eminem's own lyrics where he repeatedly admits he sold his soul and is a devil worshiper. In another song called Kings Never Die, Eminem admits that he is willing to sell his soul again to have the world. In the song he raps, I can hear the drummer drumming and the trumpets, someone trying to summon someone. I know something's coming, but I'm running from it. To be standing at the summit and plummet. How come it wasn't what I thought it was? Was it too good to be true? Have nothing, get it all, but too much of it, then lose it again? Did I swallow hallucinogens? Cause if not, where the hell did it go? Cause here I sit in Lucifer's den by the Dutch oven, just choosing to sin, even if it means I'm selling my soul, just to be undisputed again, do whatever I gotta do just to win. In this song, Eminem is telling us he is willing to sell his soul again to be on top just one more time, to have another moment in the spotlight. This song connects directly to the new music video that we will be going over in a bit. According to Eminem, he sold his soul, And that's obviously when Dr. Dre came around to sign him. What's interesting is that I already exposed Dr. Dre years back, as he is one of the hip hop gatekeepers in the music industry and another occultist. See, Dr. Dre has an old music video called Puppet Masters where him and B-Rel can be seen in hell. In the video, B-Rel is dressed up as the devil and Dr. Dre as a head satanic priest. In the song, Dr. Dre makes it clear that he's a gatekeeper in control of Lucifer's puppets. It's not a coincidence that Dr. Dre would be the one to make Eminem a star. This all connects back to his new album, The Death of Slim Shady, and his music video.
What was that song called that he was with Dr. Dre? I never seen that.
Honestly, what is it? The Death is Slim Shady? Is that what it was?
No, the one with Dr. Dre dressed as a priest, the old one.
Oh yeah, I forgot the name of that song. That video is crazy.
Yeah, 'cause I've never seen this before, but yo, this is crazy, man.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
whole
it is
thing
crazy.
right here. That they even showed that in a video, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a coincidence that Dr. Dre would be the one to make Eminem a star. This all connects back to his new album, The Death of Slim Shady, and his music video for Houdini. Eminem just dropped a new music video that is again confirming Eminem sold his soul. The music video shows Eminem encountering his past self, Slim Shady. Slim Shady arrives to the future through a portal, and Eminem goes after him to try and stop him. A lot of people are hyped about this video as it brings back memories of the 2000s Eminem. The only thing is that people aren't realizing what the imagery in this music video is actually trying to tell us. What we are seeing in this music video is the return of Slim Shady. But the thing is, most people don't know what that means. They believe it just means Eminem is going back to his old ways. The only thing is, Slim Shady isn't Eminem. Eminem tells us exactly who Slim Shady is in one of his songs, and we'll be going over that in a bit. In the Houdini video, we see Slim Shady arrive in a portal that's supposed to be from the year 2002, with the very next scene depicting the birth of a demonic-looking baby that is supposed to represent Slim Shady. They then show us a scene of Eminem placing the devil horns on his head right after they show the demon baby being born. This portal is not representing a portal from the past, but from the spirit world. What this video is telling us is that Slim Shady is supposed to represent the Antichrist himself, Lucifer, and we can further confirm this as Eminem actually tells us this himself in his song My Darling, a song Eminem made talking about his battle with the devil after selling his soul and wanting to leave the music industry behind. Eminem makes it clear in this song that he isn't Slim Shady, the devil is. The song My Darling is about Eminem having an argument with the devil who is trying to once again use Eminem as a tool. In the song, Eminem refuses and tells the devil that he is tired of being his puppet. In the beginning of the song, we hear the same tune, Eminem rapping about selling his soul to make it, like he usually does. He raps, "And the dark shall emerge from the fiery depths of hell, then swallow the shell, all the hollow who dwell in the shadows of all who are willing to sell their souls for this rap game." Then in the hook of the song, Eminem continues to let us know he sold his soul by rapping, "My darling, I don't ever want you to leave me, my darling. You and me were meant to be together, my darling. If I cannot have you, no one can, you're my darling. Because I possess your soul, your mind, your heart, and your body." The hook is actually being sung in the perspective of the devil talking to Eminem. So the devil is telling Eminem that he owns his mind, soul, and body. In the second verse, Eminem argues with the devil about not wanting to be used by him anymore, with the devil responding to him that he owns him. Eminem raps, "I had you beat. No, I was playing possum. Remember, I let your little girl blossom. I gave you enough time, your soul's mine. I'm taking it back." With Eminem responding, "Why?" And the devil replying, "Because I love you. Look a little closer. Isn't that us on that poster?" This part of the song reveals so much. Eminem is literally confessing that the devil spared his daughter Haley as he rapped, "I watched your little girl blossom." This line is referring to Eminem having to sacrifice his daughter, but being spared from doing so. The reason I know this is because Eminem tells us himself. What sticks out about these lines, if we look at Eminem's best friend Proof, he rapped in one of his songs that he was willing to sacrifice himself for Haley. In his song Kurt Cobain, Proof raps, "I'll die for Em and save Haley. Brave maybe, but just let them tears roll off my grave, Shady." Sadly, Proof passed away not long after the song was released. Quite disturbing when you think about the fact that Proof's passing was foreshadowed years before it happened in Eminem's music video Toy Soldier. As in Toy Soldier, Proof is shown getting taken out the same way he passed away in real life. I actually made a whole video about this that you can watch after this one. In My Darling, Eminem is telling us that Proof took Haley's place, but the devil isn't done using Eminem. The other important thing we learn from these lines is that Slim Shady is the devil. See, in this line, the devil asked Eminem if they don't look good on that poster. Eminem is telling us that Slim Shady is him when he is possessed by the devil. This is something that Eminem confesses to in his song Rain Man. In the song, he raps, "Cause I ain't got no legs or no brain. Nice to meet ya. Hi, my name is. I forgot my name. My aim was not to become what I became with this level of fame. My soul is possessed by this devil. My new name is Rain Man." Openly, Eminem tells us he sold his soul and is possessed by the devil. Things only get darker when we look at the third verse on My Darling. In the verse, Eminem confirms he sacrificed proof. He confirms that Dr. Dre only signed them because he sold his soul, and he also makes it clear that Slim Shady is indeed the devil. The devil tells Eminem, "Shady, listen, you hear that? They're screaming for you. I can bring your career back." With Eminem responding, "But I don't want it back." And the devil telling him, "Yes, you do." And Eminem responding, "No, I don't." And the devil again saying, "Yes, you do. You're gonna regret it later." Then Eminem replies, "No, I won't." And then the devil tells him, "I'm gonna get Dre on the phone. I'll just call the doctor." With Eminem saying, "Go ahead. I already talked to Dre yesterday." Then the devil replies, "Well, I got him on the phone right now." With M saying, "You're lying. How? Why now? What up, Dre?" With Dre then saying, "Check this out, Slim. I gotta talk to you. I don't know. It just seems like ever since you got off your drugs, you become a lot softer." A few lines down, he continues to rap. The devil telling Eminem, "I'm not in the mirror. I'm inside you. You can't kill a spirit even if you try to. You sold your soul to me, need I remind you? You remember that night you prayed to God? You give anything to get a record deal? Well, Dre signed you. This is what you wanted your whole life, Marshall, right? Look at this house. Look at these cars. They're so nice. But you didn't know fame has a price too? That you just now seeing the downside to? Lose your best friend from high school, your wife too? Ain't even sure if your kids like you?" This is one of the most revealing verses we're ever going to see. Eminem tells us everything we need to know about him. Now, going off from this song, we see that Slim Shady didn't come from the past. He came from the spiritual world, and he is representing the devil. This is why after Slim Shady is seen coming out of the portal, the Antichrist is shown being born. We then see that Eminem places the devil horns on his head, showing that he is becoming possessed. By the end of the video, we see Eminem merge with the devil, becoming possessed, and again becoming Slim Shady, representing the arrival of the Antichrist or Slim Shady. If we look at Eminem's single cover for the single Houdini, we see tons of imagery telling us the exact same thing. First off, Eminem is dressed like a magician, which is a representation of a Freemason. The magician is literally a representation of Freemasonry. As a magician never reveals his tricks, the Freemasons never reveal the secrets of their craft. We also see the cover showing that Eminem's music is magic, and we see little devils all around him, showing us who's influencing Eminem's music. The cover art for Houdini shows Eminem dressed as a magician because he's an occultist. This is why Eminem repeats abracadabra over and over again in the hook of the song. People might think that this word is just some mumbo jumbo, but it's not true. It's actually a play on the real magical word taught by Aleister Crowley, which is abrahadabra, which means the completion of the great work, the whole point of Thelema, when a man transcends from man to God. Just like they show us in this video when Eminem merges with Slim Shady and becomes like a god. This is shown with the lightning, a representation of Zeus. All of this is related to the occult's transformation of the great work. What's interesting is that a man by the name of Samuel Little McGregor Matters was the man who taught Aleister Crowley everything he knew about magic. He actually was the one who initiated Crowley into the OTO, the secret Masonic organization for members above the 33rd degree. We all know Eminem's real name is Marshall Mathers, and through his own songs, he tells us he's an occultist. I myself couldn't find a direct link, but you guys let me know if you find something below. This music.
So it's really interesting he just said that because we were talking about Eminem before we aired, and I was going to mention it, but I didn't get to. But I forgot where I saw this, but someone linked Eminem to someone deep down in the occult. Like he's basically a bloodline of someone, and I never saw that guy, but it was another guy who was a musician, probably related somewhere between them. He was like he was never as famous as Eminem, of course, but I think in the 70s he was somewhat of a famous guitarist or whatever that someone linked Eminem to, like being his like real dad or whatever. So that's really interesting. So it kind of confirms that Eminem is a bloodline. Like he's not just some random guy that was like, oh, he was praying and the devil heard him. It's like, no, it's like he actually was more than likely a bloodline.
And you know Eminem
video.
And you know Eminem sacrificed his mom this year or last year.
Oh yeah, I heard she died recently.
And you know she died 69 days at the age. So she died at age 69, 69 days before the Super Bowl 59 happened. And obviously Detroit was playing. They were basically on their way to the Super Bowl. They almost made it, right? So
Yeah,
it's just crazy how that was synced with Eminem, and how Detroit had like the Lions. They had like the best season out of any team this year, but they lost in the last few games. But that I believe that sacrifice was connected to Detroit Lions.
yeah, no, that's interesting. It's also interesting too how he mentioned something about how they wanted him to sacrifice his daughter, but he didn't do
Hmm.
it. It was proof instead.
Right, right,
Yeah, so that's really interesting. Yeah,
right.
because she's still alive, and obviously, what someone pointed out a while back too, when I first started like becoming aware of Hollywood and looking into Eminem, was like someone pointed out that there's no pictures of them like ever since his drug overdose.
Right.
I don't know if that's still the case, but it was like there's no pictures of them together at all ever since he like had that episode or whatever, and he disappeared for a bit.
Hmm.
So that's also interesting. How like maybe she also knows, oh, this guy like this isn't even my dad. You know,
Right.
this is some phony.
Yeah, and then something else about Eminem. Obviously his name Eminem is similar to the candy M&M, right? So M&Ms were created on September 10th, 1941. Eminem's mom died December 2nd, 2024. Or you can look at that as 83 years and 83 days after the creations of Eminem. And the word murder in gematria or numerology equals 83.
Huh.
So you see how the numbers are connected in like that?
Yeah, yeah. It almost looks like it is an M&M basically. The way
Right,
the E3s are. Oh wait,
right.
what did you say that was the day he got famous or
So the M&M, like the candy,
oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, they were created September 10th, 1941.
Right.
And Eminem's mom died 83 years after and 83 days after that date.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
see.
So how crazy is that? And
Yeah,
murder equals 83.
yeah,
That in numerology, murder equals 83. So it's crazy how that is.
yeah, that is. So do multiple like numbers mean the same thing?
Yeah, like, because, obviously there's over like a billion of English words, right? So each word has certain numbers connected to them. So you'll have a number like 83 equal a lot of different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 'Cause
But
didn't you say 38 also is murder?
I think, yeah,
Or is
death
that
is
yeah, that's
definite.
83
So
backwards,
so
yeah.
it's the same thing in reverse, but
Yeah.
the word death equals 38 and rapper equals 38. Um, there's a movie called Murdered by Numbers with Sandra Bullock, and if you can just pull it up on Google real quick,
Yeah.
I'll show you what I mean about how these people they work off numbers. You just yeah, there you go. So pull up the images. So you click on the first one. So as you can see in the title, murder, the E is turned into a three, right? And then in number, the B is turned into an eight. So 38 or 83. You see how that they put that in there?
That's better. Which part?
So the murder, you see the word murder,
Yep.
that E is turned into a three, and then in the word number, the B is turned into an eight. So 83, 38. Murder equals 83. Death
Okay, yeah.
equals 38. So you see how like these people know about the numbers and how these things are connected.
Yeah.
You know, murder literally equals 80, 83. So in this movie poster, they change it to 83. That's crazy.
So can you use this for good then? Obviously, like they're using it for sinister reasons, but you can use this for good, can't you?
Yeah, yeah. Numbers are dualistic. You can. There's no bad number. Like 666 is technically not a bad number. It's associated with something that's bad, right? But you can use the same power of that number for good too. It's just like magic. You ever watch like Harry Potter? You have good people who use magic, and you have bad people who use magic.
Yeah,
You
I've
know?
actually never watched Harry Potter too much. I think I've only seen like the first one, the very
Oh,
first one.
really?
I actually never got into Harry Potter.
Well, have you seen what about have you seen Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, any of those shows, animes?
Not really.
What about Naruto?
No, no, I was never an anime guy either.
So yeah, so any fictional show that portrays like superheroes using like some type of like energy, right? In all those shows, they use energy. So like Dragon Ball, they use this thing called your Kai. Your Kai power is like your spiritual energy. In Naruto, they use this. They use the word is called chakra. So the chakra is like your energy that you have within you. Everyone has their own unique energy.
Yeah,
So essentially, it's like saying magic. It's like casting spells. In Harry Potter, it's magic. There's good magic and there's bad magic. So numbers is essentially the same thing. Numerology is essentially the same thing. You can put together numbers to do bad things like these people do, or you can put the numbers together to do good things. You
yeah,
know, so, I think that's essentially how it is. There is no like bad number. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's all like nonsense.
yeah. And same with colors too, right? They use colors, particular
Hmm.
colors for certain reasons.
Right.
Like this is black and orange. I forgot what exactly orange represents. I know that does represent Freemasonry, right? Because 33
Oh
equals
yeah.
orange.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm guessing the black. What's the combination with black then and orange? Is that like a particular thing, or is that coincidence?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure what the what it means, but I'm sure there's some type of connection between the two.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I was seeing something with the 33, that guy True Seeker, I think it was actually, maybe, who, or a Call for an Uprising, one of them too.
Hmm.
He was they showed a video back in the COVID days, and it was like how they showed every single state. It was like 33 affiliated with it. I think it was 33 cases. I think every state was 33 cases confirmed, that kind of thing, when COVID was beginning.
Hmm.
And that's something that was shown. Even I saw that like when COVID was first happening, but it's just, yeah, it's really interesting, man. Even not even just with the numerology, but the way the script is, right, for the media, how it's all the same. And I don't know, I feel like it's like you'll show it to someone and their excuse is going to be, well, that's how media works, man. That's journalism.
Right.
So it's like, yeah, I guess because people are always going to say, I was going to mention this too. That someone commented on TikTok. So I post our stuff on TikTok. I don't know if you have it or not,
Hmm.
but someone commented like, "Oh, look at these guys talking about numerology or whatever." And Kevin Moy like commented back at the guy, "Oh, you're just a hater," like joking around, of course. And the guy was like, "Well, might as well talk about tariffs or whatever, and like rocks. If you're gonna talk about numerology." He was just, the person was just trolling. I didn't even respond to that person,
Hmm.
but it's like, it's either people look at it as a complete joke, right? Like, conspiracy, it's nonsense, or it's like the religious side where it's like, oh, you're not supposed to like dabble in that, because it's evil, right?
Hmm.
So it's yeah, I guess the task that we're dealt with is making people, or not even making, but trying to get people to take this more serious,
Right.
because it's like, I don't know, it's like, even with all these videos, then it kind of turns into entertainment almost. Because even the way that guy made the video, that was really like, it kept you engaged in it. It's not just like him talking and like him in that mask or whatever. It's like he shows like the clips, he's showing the lyrics and
Right.
a whole bunch of connections in just a 15-minute video. Like he actually taught me like shit I never even realized with Eminem.
Hmm.
So so yeah, man, it's tough to get people to take it serious. But this guy has let me go back to him. Is it back on him
Yeah,
or no?
yeah, you're good.
Yeah, yeah. So he's got a good amount of subs. So
Yeah,
yeah, good.
his channel
But
is fairly new too. He's only been around for like what 3 4 years now. I think his oldest video is probably like 4 years old. But I
yeah,
was I
this
remember
stuff
his
is
goal when
really
he first
popular.
started. Hmm.
Yeah, this kind of conspiracy stuff is very popular because
Yeah,
it's actually a very good way to wake someone up. This is how I woke up, dude. By the way, like not
right.
just it was 9/11, but the Hollywood stuff was like the confirmation for me. Where I was like, oh shit, this is like not a joke. Like this is like right in our face every day. Like it's
Hmm.
not just like a couple terrorist attacks that are inside jobs. Like yo, every day there's an inside job. You know.
Right.
And it's yeah, it was really the Hollywood stuff was freaking me out back then, you know. But
Right.
that dude that woke me up more so to the spiritual side, I should say, like because yeah, the
Yeah.
9/11 that was like okay, that opened my eyes to conspiracies, but the Hollywood shit, I was like, oh, there's a spiritual aspect to life, you know.
Right.
That's when I
Right.
fell down like more of that Christian like type rabbit hole, you know.
Right.
But yeah, man, it's really crazy, bro. And I think the issue is like I don't know, some people just can't handle it. It's like I don't want to think like that, you know. That's like
Hmm.
what people say.
Right. But yeah, I think like it's either you force yourself to engage with this type of content, or just be lost in the sauce. Like it's I rather lead my own way than get pushed over the cliff with the herd. You know, I'd rather just go out and try to start a fire, build a camp, find my own food, than follow the herd that's eventually getting pushed over the cliff to die. I just think that like a lot of people they don't have the right mindset when it comes to looking at the world, and like you can blame that on a lot of different things. You can blame that on the education system. You know, 13 years of slave school just teaching you how to be a follower, not a leader. How to be a worker and slave. You can blame that on your parents and how they brought you up. You can blame that on the economy and how we're all in survival mode. So it's like there's a lot of things that you can blame, the why people you can blame on why people aren't thinking the way they should. Um, but people like us are the forces, the frontline soldiers that need to be waking people up. If we have the information and the knowledge, then we just have to keep putting it out there until it catches on to people. Because if we can save one mind, then we're doing a good job. And that's how I like to think about it. Is if I can just save one person from, following these nonsense, the rituals, and the Donald Trumps and the Elon Musk. If I can save one person from that, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing here on Earth. You know, and the rest of it, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, 100%, dude. It's tough because people like us are really good people. In the end of the day, I know we everyone likes to think they're a good person, but if you're really a good person, you'd be doing what we're doing, which is it's not even to sound cocky or arrogant. You'd be doing what we're doing right now if you really
Exactly.
were ultimately a good person. If you cared, and it's like, man, it's like people will look at us as at the opposite. It's like, oh, like these guys are like talking about nonsense, trying to be famous on YouTube. Because again, everyone looks at like shit with like from the business standpoint, right? Even the money standpoint, all
Hmm.
that stuff. So it's hard for people to look past that. And speaking of Trump and Elon, did you see the anti protest to how there's been the protests for Tesla? There's an anti protest for like, people supporting like the electric cars, Doge, and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, man, it's even like it's like the people I work with, man, like incredibly good at the job, like obviously like pretty smart people, but just completely like lost, man, in the world, like with politics and never. Well, I can't say I know for sure because again, they might be showing me a different side at work, but
hmm
they're a
right,
good example of how the average person never looks past what they see every day. You
right.
know, it's like, do people ever even question like, what if everything I was told was a lie? And it's like it's almost like that scares them, and it is scary,
It is, yeah.
but it's like I don't know.
It goes back to ego. People don't want to admit that they're wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had to admit I was wrong a lot. I still admit I'm wrong, right? I'm not perfect with all this stuff.
Hmm. Especially people that like deem themselves as successful in this world. They don't want to look. They don't want to admit that they've been bamboozled or they've been duped for what's going on in the world. They want to they want to be like, oh well, I've lived on this earth for 40 plus years. I know what's going on. I know how the world works. Just to find out it's nothing like how the world works. You know what I mean? And um, I think people just, again, ego. People don't want to look past that they've been fooled. They've been tricked. That
Yeah.
everything that we know, especially here in America, everything that we know here in America is a lie. It's a big scheme. It's a scam. From the education system, from the working system, the job force, everything, the sports, everything is a scam.
We're the most deceived country
Yeah.
uh in the world for sure. Because the thing about, like, I don't know, let's just say like Brazil, like for parts, like the people know like what's up. They'll just straight up tell you, oh, because they're corrupt. Like they know, like they don't do anything about it, which sucks.
Right.
They don't have guns, like
Right.
we do, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like they just straight up would know that their government is bad, and they kind of just accept defeat. It's almost like
Right.
why I say like the women in those countries are better than American women, because like I don't know, it's just they have this sense of community, this sense of care, this sense
Hmm.
of humanity to them that Americans don't have. And
Right.
that's what foreign people always say about America. The bad part of it is all you guys do is work and sleep. Like the whole like they're like, I wouldn't. A lot of foreign people say even like, oh, I wouldn't want to live in America because of the lifestyle. It's just business, money, all that stuff, and that's understandable, because it
Right.
is. And it's, yeah, man. That's, I guess that's kind of how America was built, right? Because like if you think about like movies in the '80s and '90s and early 2000s, even there was a lot of like business movies portraying like richness, living in like New York City, Miami, LA,
Hmm.
something like that. And the main character, like if it's a dude, probably works like a big fancy corporate job, suit and tie every day. Um, so it's like that was portrayed, and now it's different. It's not really like that as much anymore. Now it's more like people want to be streamers and social media influencers
Right.
as opposed to like businessmen, like the way it used to be.
Well, a lot of before the 2000s, it was like you showed up to get your money. You had to show up physically to get your money.
Yeah, you
Now,
could also afford stuff at that time
yeah,
off an average job.
yeah, but now it's like you can make money on the internet, from being at home. So it is a slightly different way of living here in this time. Um, and going back to what you were saying about America is the most fooled and deceived. It's that way because we are the most powerful.
Yeah, because
As
nothing like bad physically is happening to us. Like we're provided for.
right, right. We're pacified, but in a bad way because we don't know how to do basic, things as more people around the world know how to do. Like a lot of people around the world know how to look out in the forests and find foods that are edible. They know how to find shelter. They know how to build rafts and stuff like that. Most Americans, if you tell them to spend a night outside, they'll die. Like they'll freak out. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But if you live in like a foreign country, you're probably used to that, or you at least have some knowledge on how to survive outside.
Yeah,
Um,
well, they have like homes, right? Because like I remember I used to put my location there on Tinder like a year ago, and like it's easy to get matches in America and in other countries, bro. It's crazy, but
mhm,
anyway, it's like they wouldn't have heat or no, I shouldn't say heat, air condition, right? Because they would be in Brazil or like in South America where it's really hot,
mhm.
and they would say, "Oh yeah, we don't have air conditioning," and I would always be like, "Man, like I wouldn't like ask them, but I would wonder like, man, how the hell do they survive? Like they must be so used to it because it gets more hot there than here,
Oh yeah.
Jersey, and like
Even right now, it's like kind of hot outside. I'm like, damn, I need to turn the AC on.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, it's just a humble life.
Hmm.
It's like damn, it's like sometimes they'll be like, yeah, sometimes like our electricity goes out or we won't have internet for a few days. It's just like normal to them.
Right, right. Yeah, we take that for granted here in America for sure.
Yeah, dude, 1 week of no electricity, like, which honestly isn't really that bad if you think about it. But
Right.
bro, people would like freak out. I would be kind of freaked, but I would like be excited for it. I don't know. I would like embrace it, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it because I mean the only thing I wouldn't like is because I couldn't do my music. You know what I mean? I make music digitally, so that would be kind of annoying. But as far as like living life, I would actually love that. You know what I mean? Just to see people not engaged in technology, that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, you would actually like look out your window and see people outside. Like,
Yeah, and it would feel like the 2000s again.
yeah, because you would have nothing, no other way of communicating with anyone unless you left your house, literally.
Hmm. But I remember the days when I was a kid where going outside was the best thing you can do in your day.
Yeah,
Going, hanging out with the neighborhood kids, you know what I mean? Being outside all day, playing until the street lights came on and your parent or grandparent was screaming for you to come in. Like I literally lived through that as a kid, you know? Like
yeah, man.
good days.
What's interesting about like our age range is we pretty much grew up with social media and smartphones for the most part, like most of our later life. But it's like I we remember the times where there was no smartphone and you know with the flip. I got a flip phone when I was in fifth grade. I remember that was my first phone. I got an iPhone at first in ninth grade. That's when I got my first smartphone.
Hmm.
But it's just crazy how like I actually had a flip phone throughout middle school and like all that. And I remember even before. It's just we remember basically before there were smartphones, but that's when Facebook started. But it was all on the computer. It wasn't like on your phone yet, you know.
Right,
And so it's like you can only really go on it when you're at your computer. So it's like it wasn't really that bad, you know. It started to shape reality a little differently, but it
right.
wasn't that bad. But then when it came on the phone, it's like you can be on it 24/7.
I know.
And
Yeah.
it really only evolved into that a few years after Facebook came out.
Hmm. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I remember. I used to be on the computer on Facebook all the time. It was like Facebook. I don't know if you had AOL AIM, the chatting thing.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my
Dude,
god.
I used to talk to so many girls in there. So I
Oh,
used to be on
damn.
Face.
What's
I used to be
wrong?
on Facebook talking to girls. I used to be on AIM talking to girls. And I used to be on YouTube like all the time, and I was
Yeah,
still talking to girls on YouTube.
yeah, dude. You know that's from what the name came from, jmasterproductions, because I made it my YouTube in fifth grade.
Yeah.
That's when I made it. Like it was so different back then.
Hmm.
But yeah, I remember I would talk to. It's funny, funny story. There was this creep I used to talk to, but I was so young, I didn't know. But it was like this dude from Mexico, right? And
Hmm.
he was like, he would just ask me questions like, "Oh, I like your." I would make stupid videos, bro, back then, like just me like imitating stuff. I don't even know, just stupid videos. And he would always be like, "Oh, I like your videos," you know, and like me being young, I'd be like, "Oh, thanks, this and that." And, like he would just ask me questions like, "What do you like to do for fun?" Like nothing creepy, honestly. Like, uh, what sports do you like? You know, what do you prefer, Coke or Pepsi? And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, I have a lot of questions to ask you, right?"
Hmm.
And he never asked me anything crazy because my mom intervened one day. She was like, "Who are you texting? Who's this?" Because I eventually gave him my phone number through YouTube, and we were
Right.
texting. And my mom was like, "Well, who's this number? Who's this Ian guy?" That was his name, Ian.
Hmm.
And she's like, "Who's Ian?" I was like, "My friend from YouTube." And she freaks out. She's like, "Your friend from YouTube? What?" This and that. And then she like texts the guy like, "Oh, don't ever contact my son again." And I remember he responded to saying, "Okay, no problem."
Hmm.
But and I never heard from him again. But yeah, it's just a little funny story there. But yeah, the guy was like, I remember saying to my mom like, but he didn't ask me anything like weird or like crazy. He was just asking me normal stuff. She was like, yeah, but he's gonna lead into that and then ask where you live and then he'd rape you this and then that whole deal, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
But
funny.
yeah, man, those days, bro, were good. But dude, imagine that happened now. It's like I feel like it'd be easier to track you down if you really wanted to, you know.
Right. Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, anyway, did you have anything to say? Otherwise, I know we've been going for a while. We'll finish the video and then do our final. sayings. If you got anything else.
No, I'm pretty much good.
All right, cool. So we'll continue this.
And this single cover is letting us know Eminem is being controlled by the devil, and that's what makes him Slim Shady. Eminem was serving the devil since the beginning. This is something he confessed to himself many times, as I've shown in this video. His job was to influence a generation to follow Slim Shady to a burning end. People don't understand how this demonic music could affect you. Eminem lets us know that he is being used by these demonic spirits that he's possessed by, spirits that through his music could attach itself to those listening. Don't believe me? This is something that actually happened after a man took out his entire family at 3 a.m. after listening to Eminem's song 3 a.m. The man claimed that after he repeatedly listened to the song, he became possessed and then went on to take out his entire family.
Into bed that night, said a prayer together, asked God to keep them safe. 6 hours later, he says he's done 11 times. And
911, what is your emergency? What's the name?
29-year-old Michael Miller covered him talking to 911 operators after his wife Adriana, 9-year-old daughter Valerie, and critically injuring his 4-year-old son Brian. Miller told officers he was possessed and his wife became a demon. Just before at 4 in the morning, he told police he started screaming lyrics from an Eminem song and saying, "Here comes Satan. I'm the Antichrist."
This might not happen to all that listen to Eminem, but those that are weak and fearful, who knows how this music would affect them? Eminem was just a man who sold his soul to be used as a tool for Lucifer. Eminem and Dr. Dre are both occultists who sold out to the devil and were given the world. What Eminem did, all the mainstream artists have done. This is why the music is leading the kids astray. The music industry is being used by Lucifer to spread his belief of self-worship. We must remember that we are in a spiritual battle, and every soul counts. We must wake up as many people as possible so that they may see the truth about these artists they idolize and make their ways back to God. But I'm in this one here. But before you guys go, I just wanted to politely ask you to like, comment, and share this video so that it'll be recommended.
Yeah, man, this guy definitely thank you for showing me him because it's a good one.
Yeah, he's got a really good channel, and if you look through like his other stuff, I'm sure you'll find other videos you might be interested in too.
Yeah, I subscribe to him. But yeah, man, I know we've been going for a little while here. I'm getting a little tired. Sure you are too. Did you have anything else to say or any final remarks?
No, just about covered everything that I wanted to talk about. I guess the only thing I really want to say is that people need to wake up. We're in desperate times here. Like we've been saying this in the last streams. You know, things are the clock is ticking. And with Trump and this World War III looming and tariffs and all these things that are roaming in the air, it looks like they're setting the stage for something to happen. Um, and the market. I don't know if anyone really pays attention to it, but the market went down crazy today after Trump declared these tariffs. Like it was the lowest it's ever been. So at least since COVID, it's been the lowest it's ever been. So it's scary times we're living in, man. It's scary times. I think the best thing for us to do is just to keep pushing out this content and to engage with our community as much as we can and go from there.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, I don't know what more has to happen really for people to wake up. Really what it is, dude, it's hopeism. Like people just hope everything's gonna go back, or people want things to, or they want things to get better without action. They outsource all their hope and all their power to Donald Trump or to any one of these politicians.
Right.
It's a real shame because when I look around, all I see is just people who haven't grown up at all, and it doesn't matter their age. If they're much older than us, it's like, man, if like you're still falling for elections, if you think a politician's going to save us, if you yourself, like if you're not growing in consciousness, it's, I don't know, man, it's really tough because sometimes I sound like an asshole with what I say, but like people really need to get over themselves, like get over their petty situations. Like we're all like going through something, and like, learn, read a book. I don't know, listen to
Mhm.
someone like this guy. I mean, this guy's a really good starting point for anyone.
Right.
I mean, the Hollywood stuff it's very interesting because, right, it's these celebrities, people you've always known growing up or whatever.
Hmm.
Also it's like when you see the pattern, that's the biggest thing. When you see the pattern, that's when you start to be like, oh, there is something going on here. I see.
Right.
Maybe this guy, the truth isn't crazy. Maybe Justin from Master Productions isn't crazy. Maybe Shammy Deep isn't crazy.
Hmm.
You know. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty much what my closing remarks are. Yeah, people got to wake up because, like you said, with Trump's goal is he's going to crash the economy, probably introduce some sort of digital ID, digital dollar, whatever it might be. We don't exactly know. Could be a cyber blackout even for a few weeks. I mean, there's so many plugs that they could pull on us
Yeah.
and have us right where they want. But what we do know is things are not getting better.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
Unfortunately. But
Yep.
anyway, to leave it on a positive note, guys, if you ever want to join us, feel free. I'll leave our contact information below. Feel free to DM us on social media or send us an email if you ever want to join us.
Yes, please. Please do. We need more.
All right, guys, you all have a good night. If you watched to this point, we really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe to both of us, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace out.